Hi, this is Minister Jody, and you're listening to Abba Silence Ministries.
Okay, so I am known for writing on just about anything. This is a piece of paper towel, and I'm about to use this to show you something. I want to show you something. Okay, so there's a song that has been sung in church. I love that song. Oh my gosh, it goes like this. And don't worry about my singing. It might not be on key, but I'm not professional. So I'm just gonna enjoy the song, and I hope y'all can bear with my singing just for a second. Let's see how it go. Now I don't forget how it how does this song go? I love to praise His name. I love to praise His name. Look, I'm trying to remember it. I love to praise His name. Oh, I love to praise His holy name. For He's my rock, He's my rock. I rock my sword and shield. He's a will, He's a will. Check this out now. He's a will in the middle of a wheel. And that's where I'm going to stop at with the singing. So that's what I wanted to show you. Okay. There we go. Here, I'm going to try to put this up against. I'm doing this from my phone. Don't worry about the fact that it's not exactly in the middle. That's me trying to draw. But in this song, it says, He's my rock, my sword, and shield. He's a will. Let me write this down. Here. Okay, let me hold it like this. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm multitasking. Okay, so a will. Oh, my writing on this. In the middle of a will. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? So with this song, we're singing about Jesus. He's my rock, my sword and shield. He's a will, He's a will. So we saying He's a will. So Jesus is this will in the middle of a will. I know He never let me down. He's just a jewel that I have found. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I love the praises. Okay, so yeah, I just said that I love that song. Love that song. Now I have to go find it so I could look it up. So now this is the Bible that I have handy. Let me go here, and I'm gonna go to the prophet Ezekiel. I'm gonna go to the prophet Ezekiel. Now, Ezekiel gives us a piece of it. All these songs, it's like everything is clues, helping us to understand. So now Ezekiel is having this dream, this vision, and he sees something amazing. It says, a vision of living beings. On July 31st, Ezekiel chapter 1. On July 31st of my 30th year, while I was with the Judean exiles. The Judean exiles. Who are the Judean exiles? He's calling them Jews. It's Judean, in other words. These are the Jews he's talking about, or the children of Judah. The fact that they're exiles, they were prisoners. He was with the Judean exiles besides the Kabar River in Babylon. Oh, when I say all of this is pertinent. Very pertinent. Okay, first of all, let me, because I've been talking about this. It's so crazy. I've been talking about this with Isaiah. And what inspires this video is a friend of mine, a Facebook friend of mine who just does some amazing research and asks some amazing questions. And so let me write this out first. Judea or Judean. Judean. To explain it, Judean. I am from Chicago, born and raised Chicago, Illinois. Those who live in Chicago are called Chicago Chicagoans. So Judea, these are the children of Judah. They're called Judean exiles, is prisoners. And there's something key about this Judean, and I have been speaking about it. Judah, I'm spelling it wrong. Judah, I hope I didn't spell it too bad. Judah, that should be a D. My writing, y'all. Judah had two mantles. I've been sharing this, and I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want this video to be long. He had two mantles. The first mantle that he had was a governmental mantle. That was a government or kings. He was told, and that's found in Genesis chapter 49, he was told by his daddy. His daddy told him that the scepter or the rulership would not depart from him until the one to whom it actually belonged arrived to get it. So that was the kingship mantle. That was a mantle that Judah carried. Now later on in the book of, I'm gonna write it right here, 1 Samuel, from chapters 1 to chapter 4, you will see a transfer. So I'm spelling it wrong again. Transferred mantle. The mantle that was transferred to Judah was the priesthood. So Judah carried a mantle of both king and priesthood. And that mantle he held until the one to whom it belonged arrived. And that was Jesus. So Jesus is both king and priest. And he inherited both of those mantles from Judah. He's king and priest in the order of Melchizedek. Now you have to go find my videos on my page or go to YouTube, type my name in YouTube, and you'll see some videos that I did. It's 3 in total so far that I did of the book of Isaiah, and you'll see more of a breakdown of everything that happened. The priesthood was originally carried by the Levites. That priesthood was not put on their shoulders by their daddy. That priesthood, or their human daddy, that priesthood was put on their shoulders by God himself, and therefore God was the one who removed it and transferred it to Judah. And the whole story of why that happened, I wrote. Now, we want to get back to this wheel in the middle of the wheel. And see, one of the things about me is you have to have a visual. I have to have a visual. I have to be able to see everything. So Judean. So going back here to Ezekiel chapter 1, it says, on July 31st of my 30th year, he's 30 years old, while I was with the Judean exiles, or the children of Judah who were prisoners beside the Kabar River in Babylon. So now Babylon is key. I'm going to write Babylon down. And the reason why I'm going to write Babylon down, and this was the part of the video that I was really, really, really excited about. And I did a live broadcast, a Facebook Live. I did a Facebook Live this morning because it was just bubbling over in me. And I had to get it out so that I could do writings. But anyway, Babylon represents the world empire of false religion. That's key. So the Judean exiles they were prisoners in Babylon, or enslaved by false religion. Y'all catch this now. Catch it now. They were enslaved by false religion. Now, if you just take a second, just take a pause and look around us today. all these different religions and all these different denominations, and the separation and so anyway, let's go back, because I really want to get into that, but this is not for that. And so this is definitely going to inspire me to even do more work later on. So let's go back to here. So he was with the Judean exiles beside the Kabar River in Babylon. Oh, and I want to tell you why so bad, but let me go back. Let me go back here and stick with the program, because to know why this happened, you have to go back and study Isaiah, the first chapter. Oh my gosh, or Isaiah himself, and why, and what he was prophesying, and why he was led to prophesy. You got to study him. So anyway, it says. Okay, so he was with the Judean exiles beside the Kabar River in Babylon. And it says, while he was there, while that was going on, the heavens was open to him and he saw visions of God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, talking about something exciting. While he was there, while he was in a place of prison. While he was in prison, he was an exile. He experienced this amazing experience. He had a close encounter with God. I almost said of the third kind. That used to be my favorite movie a long time ago. But he had a close encounter with God. It says the heavens were open to him. He was given access granted. OMG. He was given access granted. The heavens was open to him and he saw visions of God. It says this happened during the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity. Now you got to understand who King Jehoiakim is. And he's either the king of Judah, or he's the king of Israel, one of them two kings. I have to go back now and do research on Jehoiakim and who he was the king of. I'm quite sure that I got it written somewhere. But anyway, Jehoiakim. So the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity. So he had been himself, this king had been in prison for 5 years. And this all happened during that his captivity. It says, the Lord gave a message to me, Ezekiel, son of Buzi, a priest, there beside the Kabar River in the land of the Babylonians. And I felt the hand of the Lord take hold of me. Oh, this is powerful. It says, as I looked, I saw a great storm. Now he's telling us the vision. He's telling us the vision. He's telling us what he saw. As I look, before I even get into that, I am so excited. Do you ever have these dreams that just disturb you? Do you ever write them down? I do. I write my dreams down. I call them dream weavers. I write them down and just wait for the fulfillment of them or wait for God to explain it to me. But yeah, so he's telling us the dream now. He says, as I looked, I saw a great storm coming towards me from the north. That's important, you guys. The direction that it was coming from is important. Anyway, it says, driving before it is a huge cloud that flashed with lightning. Driving before it. Before this great storm that was coming towards him, towards the north, there was a huge cloud that was driving before it. Catch this now, understand. So there is a great storm that is coming. But before this, now y'all know when we see storms coming, what we see is, or when we know that there's a storm coming, you could look at the sky right now and you'll see dark gray clouds. And you will know that you'll get warnings, you'll get buzz beeps to your phone. I called it a buzz beep, y'all. Don't laugh at me. You'll get warnings and notifications to your phone, and there'll be notifications coming across the TV. You'll be watching something, and then you'll get this alert from the weather broadcast system, this beep that's really, really, really loud that interrupts whatever you're doing to get your attention, to tell you there is a storm on the way. He said, as he looked, he saw a great storm coming, a great storm coming to him from the north. Pay attention to this now. This is crucial. This storm, there was a storm, a great storm coming. Y'all, I know y'all might be laughing at me by now, and I know y'all might be tripping out on how I'm emphasizing this great storm, but you got to understand that what Ezekiel saw pertains to us today. There is a storm coming, a great storm, but before that storm, driving before it, now catch, driving before it is a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. Now, man, let me do this. Let me turn this over because I got to get back to this wheel within the wheel. And there's a reason why I went from this wheel in the middle of a wheel over to here, and you'll see it in a second. But let me show you something real quick. There is, let's see, this would be south, this would be north, this would be east, and this will be west. Okay, south, north, east, west. I know my directions are right because I remembered how I learned my directions living in Chicago. And so I initially grew up on the south side. And the north side was this way, and the east side was where the lake was, Lake Michigan, and the west side, yeah. So there's a storm coming. I'm gonna do this like this. A great storm, just great storm coming from the north, coming towards him. So we're gonna have him. Where was he at? He was in Babylon beside the Kibar River. So we're going to say the Lake Michigan is down here. So we're going to I'm going to put Lake Michigan so I can have my directions right. So here's a great storm, but the storm is coming this way towards him because he's in jail. He's an exile in Babylon. And it's coming towards let me now erase Lake Michigan so don't nobody I'm just doing that because on the east was where the river was. Now, I don't know where the Kibar River was in Babylon. I can easily go look for it, but I'm not going to do it right now. That's something I'm going to do later. So this is a great storm. And it is coming from the north and driving before it, which is verse number 3. Before this great storm is a huge cloud that is coming in before the storm. I'm gonna put Ezekiel right here. I'm just going to imagine Ezekiel right here. All I know is wherever he's standing somewhere on this side because he's seen it coming from this way. So there's a great storm and he sees the great storm and he sees the dark clouds and he sees how bad it looks. And before this great storm, there's a huge cloud that is coming before the storm that is driving, meaning that is going in this direction too. Before the storm, the big storm that's coming, the huge cloud, and in this huge cloud that is coming before this storm. Let me get back over here. What's in a huge cloud that's coming before the storm? In the huge cloud, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to hold my phone. Okay, so it says, driving before it is a huge cloud that flashes with lightning. Where are we? I'm reading it through the phone now. That flashes with lightning and shone with brilliant light. Wait a minute. Driving before it is a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. The fire inside the cloud glowed with gleaming amber. So there's a cloud and there is lightning going forth from this cloud. And there is a huge light, a brilliant light. This cloud has a brilliant light around it. Don't forget the lightning now. Don't forget the lightning. And there's brilliant light around this cloud. And inside the cloud, there is fire. Inside the cloud, there is fire. Okay, so where am I? It says, get where I can see it now, because I'm trying to read this. I want you to see it. The fire inside the cloud glowed like gleaming amber. From the center of the cloud came four living beings that looked human. Oh, let me turn over. So now there is a cloud. Here's a cloud. And from the center of a cloud, the center of the cloud. Now remember, the cloud, there was fire in the center. There was fire in the cloud. There was lightning that came from the cloud. The cloud glowed brightly. Oh my gosh. And from the center of the cloud, from the center of this cloud, I need another came, I'm gonna do 4. 1, 2, 3. My box don't look too good. Okay. So from the center of the cloud came, where am I at? 4 living beings that looked human, except that each had 4 faces and 2 pale wings. Now listen, y'all. Back in 2007, I think it was. Y'all, my Bible falling apart. Back in 2007. Do I still had a picture? It wasn't this Bible. I'm thinking that, do I still had a picture? It wasn't this Bible. So there was a news article. I got to figure out which Bible I had that. Oh. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I know where it's at. Hold on. Okay, y'all. So I went to go find it. And what I was looking for is I had this newspaper article that I had kept in my Bible from all the way back from 2006, 2007. I'm still flipping through the pages of my Bible trying to find it to see, because I know I still got it. But I have several Bibles, and one of the Bibles that I had, I can't find it right now. And I'm like a little miffed. Because I'm thinking that that's where it is. And I'm not in my office where I could go like pull this up on my computer. But there was this baby that was born over in India. And this baby had 2 faces, literally 2 complete faces. She had a face like right here. I'm going to do this like this to kind of give some depth. So she had a face right here. 1, 2. She had the nose and she had the mouth right here. And she had a face right here. 1, 2. The nose and the mouth right here. And both faces were full. And she had one neck and one body. And both faces were fully functional. Both faces. So this vision that Ezekiel saw was, it looked like it was something that came. There was 4 angels, I think he said, that came out, or 4 living beings. He called them living beings. 4 living beings that came out from the center of this cloud. The center. Now look, there's center in the middle of the wheel, right? But that came out from the center of this cloud. And when they came out, these 4 living beings, these 4 living beings, when they came out and he got a look at them, each one had a face, each 4. So look, one face was as a man, one was as an eagle, one was as a bull, and the other one was, what was the other one? Let's see. The other one, let me go back. It was, let's see, strength, bull. Let's see. There was, because the man represented love. The eagle represented wisdom. Oh, the other one was a lion. And the bull represented strength. And the lion represented, I think it was rulership. Anyway, go back to this. So what did I leave off at? I'm going to start right there. Gleaming amber right there. From the center of the cloud came 4 living beings that looked human, except that each had 4 faces and 2 pair of wings. It says their legs were straight like human legs, but their feet were split like calves' feet and shone like burnished bronze. Beneath each of their wings, I can see human hands. The wings of each living being touched the wings of the 2 beings beside it. The living beings were able to fly in any direction without turning around. Each had a human face in the front, and the face of the lion on the right side, the face of an ox, I call that a bull, but it's an ox on the left side, and the face of an eagle at the back. Each had 2. And then let's look at these faces. Let's think for a second. I just want to show you this. So I'm gonna do it like this. In the front was a man. To the right, that'll be this side, was the lion. In the back was the eagle. And to your left was the ox. The man represents love. The lion represents authority, power. The ox, strength. The eagle, wisdom. You guys, I just want to show you something. The fact that this living being that Ezekiel saw could turn in any direction without turning around. I want you to see something. It says the living beings were able to fly in any direction without turning around. I want you to just consider how quickly you could change your mind about something without turning around. Just think now, just consider this. A long time ago, this was a long time ago when the Holy Spirit was showing me this stuff, and I have to go and dig and find out my research that I was doing on that. As a matter of fact, I got a lot of research papers that, you come on. I have a lot of research papers that have like drawings all over from the things that I was being seen. But consider ourselves and how we can turn in any direction at any given point without physically turning around. We can speak with authority and power and walk in that power. We can operate in strength and do something like you have to stand firm in some area. The wisdom, understanding, knowledge, wisdom that we have, the love that we have. Just look, Ezekiel was seeing this living being and he was seeing something, but he was trying to describe it. I'm just going to keep going. It says, each had 2 pairs of, and that's verse 11 right there. Each had 2 pairs of outstretched wings. 1 pair stretched out to touch the wings of the living beings on either side of it, and the other pair covered its body. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose. They were moved by Holy Spirit. It says, and they moved straight forward in all directions without having to turn around. I go back to, because I tell you, when the Holy Spirit was breaking this down to me and showing me, he had me look at us. He just had me look like I was like people watching, put it like that. He had me look and it's like you can see the love a person has in their heart and that love that will move them. And this person is walking forward or whatever, but something can happen. And all of a sudden they go from speaking in love and interacting with you in love to being angry. That would be that ox too. That would be the ox too. Then they go from being angry to speaking in wisdom, warning, wisdom. Oh, you shouldn't do this, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. I feel this type of way, but I'm a, or when they have to speak or when they have to stand up, they stand up and pout, but they never turn around. They steady moving forward. Pay attention to this now. Pay attention to what you're seeing and pay attention to how we act. Now, I am not sitting here saying to you that he was looking at us. I'm not saying that to you, but I'm saying to you is to help you to understand what it was that Ezekiel saw and how each of these faces on this one body was able to move in that direction without turning around. Each moved forward. So if you got one body, I mean, come on, let's think about it. So we're gonna say this is I can't even use that. So you got each of these. This is a face that's facing forward. 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 And each one of these facing forward will move forward without turning around. So therefore, if this was one body and each face moved forward without turning around, that would split this one body in half. It would split because they're all going in the same, they're all moving forward. So that would cause something to split. Yet this thing did not split. It did not split at all. It was still one. And so it has to be something more. And it was the faces that all moved the same direction. So when you consider that and just think about us and think about how we change and think about, like, we could be sitting watching TV. That's a one. We could be sitting watching something on TV, and and whatever we watch on TV would take us through many different emotions. It would take us through, oh, if I was, I wouldn't do that, or she shouldn't do that, or blah, blah, blah. Or it'll take you through, this is what, I don't even know how to explain it, but you got to, I believe you understand what I'm saying. So I ain't gonna even try to keep explaining it. I'm gonna go back here. So, they went in whatever direction the Spirit chose, and they moved straight forward in all directions without having to turn around. It says the living beings looked like bright coals of fire or brilliant torches, and it looked as though lightning was flashing back and forth among them. And the living beings darted to and fro like flashes of lightning. It says, as I looked at these beings, I saw 4 wheels on the ground beneath them. 1 wheel belonged to each. Now he's looking at these 4 living creatures, and he's seeing, man. So he's seeing, I use this 4 here. Underneath the 4 was a wheel. Now you got the 4 up here, but underneath the 4 was a wheel. It says, where am I? As I looked at these beings, I saw 4 wheels on the ground beneath them, 1 wheel belonging to each. The wheels sparkled as if made of chrysolite. And he's talking about how brilliant. Imagine, just like he's trying to figure out how to describe the beauty of what he saw, the magnificence of what he saw. He said all 4 wheels looked the same. Each wheel, check it now, had a second wheel turning crossways within it. Each wheel had a second wheel inside it. So now you're seeing the wheel in the middle of the wheel. But you have 1 wheel going this way, and you have the other wheel going this way. And they're both turning. This one is turning this way. This one is turning this way. Oh, there we go. This one is turning this way. And this one is turning this way. And these wheels, above these wheels is this creature that has 2 wings in front of it covering its body, a wing stretched out, and then the wings just like on their back. And the head of this thing is one head, but it's four faces. I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. God bless me. Okay, so it says, and the faces are the face of a lion, the face of an ox, the face of a man, and the face of an eagle. So it says, all four wheels looked the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it. The beings could move forward in any direction, in any of the four directions. It says, they faced without turning as they moved. The rims of the four wheels were awesomely tall. The rims of the four wheels was awesomely tall, and they were covered with eyes all around the edges. When the four living beings moved, the wheels moved with them. When they flew upward, the wheels went up too. The spirit of the four living beings was in the wheels. The spirit of the four living beings was in the wheels. So wherever the spirit went, the wheels and the living beings went too. When the living beings moved, the wheels moved. When the living beings stopped, the wheels stopped. When the living beings flew into the air, the wheels rose up, for the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. These wheels that were covered with eyes all around the edges. Let me go back over here to this one. All seeing, all knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. All of these descriptions, all potent, all present, omniscient, all these different descriptions are describing God or describing the spirit. These that had eyes, the wheels, the rims of the wheels had eyes. God sees everything. There is nothing hidden. We speak of these things when we say that there is nothing, absolutely nothing hidden from God. The rim, there's a wheel within the wheel. That wheel within a wheel has eyes all around it. There's nothing hidden. Now again, this song that we sung, he's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So you know what, looking at this, you guys, wow. Looking at this, just from a distance looking at it, I'm reminded of an egg cell, an egg yolk. And that yolk in the middle, I'm just reminded of that. I'm reminded of an egg cell. And that a baby is born from, how the sperma, when the sperma gets inside, there's a reaction that happens inside that begins to create us, where this that's inside begins to split first in two and then in four, and then each one of those split until a fetus takes shape. I'm just saying, like we're looking at the core. We're looking at the core. He's showing us the core. The core. He's showing us the roots. He's showing us this light. Okay, anyway. Where am I? I read all that. Okay, so it says, there was a surface spread out above them like the sky. It sparkled like crystal. Beneath this surface, the wings of each living being stretched out to touch the other's wings, and each had two wings covering its body. As they flew, their wings roared like waves crashing against the shore, or like the voice of the Almighty. Or, catch that again, like the voice of the Almighty, or like the shouting of a mighty army. When they stopped, they let down their wings. As they stood still, their wings lowered. A voice spoke from beyond the crystal surface above them. Listen. As they stood with their wings lowered, a voice spoke from beyond the crystal surface above them. Above the surface, and when that voice spoke, going back, because there was a crystal surface. I can't even begin to do the crystal surface. And when they stopped, first of all, their wings touched each other. They had two wings that they flew with. They had wings outstretched that touched each other, and then they had wings that covered their body. There was a crystal like it was clear, a crystal, like a platform that was above them. The spirit which moved these beings was in the wheels. The wheel within the middle of the wheel. The spirit was in the wheel. The spirit was in this wheel that moved these beings, where it would go in whatever direction it was told to go, or the spirit would lead them, because it was spirit led. It would go in whatever direction without turning around, that the spirit lead them, even to go up. There was a platform, a clear like platform that was above them, and when they stopped, when they got still, there was a voice from above that platform. Are you guys catching this? Dang, it's been 42 minutes already. Sorry about that. It says, as they stood with their wings lowered, 25, verse 25, a voice spoke from beyond the crystal surface above them. Above the surface, over their heads, was what looked like a throne made of blue sapphire. Above them, above that surface, that crystal surface, was what looked like a throne of blue sapphire. And high above this throne was a figure, and high above the throne. High above the throne. Okay, so there was a platform, a crystal platform above them. And above that platform was a throne. And high above that throne was a figure whose appearance was like that of a man. From his waist up, he looked like gleaming amber, flickering like a fire. And from his waist down, he looked like a burning flame, shining with splendor. All around him was a glowing halo, like a rainbow shining through the clouds. And this was the way the glory of the Lord appeared to me. When I saw it, I fell face down in the dust and heard someone's voice speaking to me. Now catch this. Ezekiel saw Jesus in his royal mantle. John the Baptist saw in Revelation, saw Jesus in his priestly garments. I'll keep going. So this voice, it says, like, when he saw all this, this was the way the glory of the Lord appeared to him. The glory of the Lord appeared to him. He said, when I saw it, I fell down in the dust and heard someone's voice speaking to me. So it says, stand up, son of man, said the voice. I want to speak with you. The Spirit came into me as he spoke. Now the Spirit, remember these living beings that he saw, they moved by the Spirit. So Ezekiel is now told to stand up, because this voice that was coming down to him it said, I want to speak with you. So the Spirit came into him as he spoke and set me on my feet. I listened carefully to his words. Son of man, he said, I am sending you to the nation of Israel, a nation that is rebelling against. Did I turn enough pages? Did I turn too many pages? I turned enough pages. A nation that is rebelling against me. Their ancestors have rebelled against me from the beginning, and they are still in revolt to this very day. They are a hard-hearted and stubborn people, but I'm sending you to say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. And whether they listen or not, for remember, they are rebels, at least they will know they have had a prophet among them. Son of man, do not fear them. Do not be afraid, even though their threats are sharp as thorns and barbed as briars, and they sting like scorpions. Do not be dismayed by their dark scowls. That's somebody frowning up at you when they're looking at you. They're frowning up. It says, for remember, they are rebels. You must give them my messages, whether they listen or not. But they won't listen, for they are completely rebellious. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them in being a rebel. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Then I looked and I saw a hand reaching out to me, and it held a scroll. He unrolled it, and I saw that both sides were covered with funeral songs, other words of sorrow, and pronouncements of doom. Chapter 3. It says, the voice said to me. Now remember, this is a voice that was above that platform, that was above the man with the four faces, that was on top of that underneath this man with the four faces, there was a wheel within the wheel, and the Spirit was in the wheel, and this man can move in any direction. It says, this voice said to me, chapter 3, Son of man, eat what I am giving you. Eat this scroll. Eating the scroll, he's telling him to read this word. Read it, eat it, read it, eat it. He says, eat the scroll, then go and give its message to the people of Israel. So I opened my mouth and he fed me the scroll. Get it? Like a parent will feed a child, a hungry child, a bottle. But after a while, if any of you have been parents, if any of you have ever babysitted a little bitty baby, and you fix a bottle and you start off holding the bottle, then you teach them to hold it themselves. He says, so I opened my mouth and he fed me the scroll. Eat it all, he said. And when I ate it, it tasted as sweet as honey. So remember, he's feeding him now. Then look what he says in verse 4. It says, then he says, Son of man, go to the people of Israel with my messages. I am not sending you to some foreign people whose language you cannot understand. No, I am not sending you to people with strange and difficult speech. If I did, they would listen. I am sending you to the people of Israel. In other words, he's sending him to his own people. but they won't listen to you any more than they listen to me. So Ezekiel is being told, Ezekiel, a man of God, is being told to go to his own people, but he's also being told that they're not going to listen to him. It says, for the whole lot of them are hard-hearted and stubborn. But look, I have made you as hard and stubborn as they are. I have made you as hard as rock. So don't be afraid of them or fear their angry looks, even though they are such rebels. Then he added, Son of man, let all my words sink deep into your own heart first. Let me read that part again. Son of man, let all of my words sink deep into your own heart first. Listen to them carefully for yourself. Then go to your people in exile and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Do this whether they listen to you or not. I have heard well too many people say about speaking and who they're going to speak to. And even when it comes down to Facebook, like people who are given a word and they share the word, but because somebody don't like the posts or don't comment on any of the posts, you want to delete them. You can't do that. You cannot do that. God says to speak whether the people listen to you or not, whether they like your post or not. This ain't about liking, getting a post like, oh, this dog. This is not about getting posts like what God is sending his servant to do. It says, then the Spirit lifted me up and I heard a loud rumbling sound behind me. May the glory of the Lord be praised in his place. It was the sound of the wings of the living beings as they brushed against each other and the rumbling of their wheels beneath them. The Spirit lifted me up and took me away. See, I'm going to go back over that again. It says, then the Spirit lifted me up, and I heard a loud rumbling sound behind me. May the glory of the Lord be praised in his place. It was the sound of the wings of the living beings as they brushed against each other and the rumbling of their wheels beneath them. Now, remember when I first looked at this and I was given each of these faces a personality, and I said one represented love. The eagle, a man represented love. The eagle represented wisdom. The bull represented strength, and the lion represented what I put right there, rulership or authority. Now I know some people looked at that and they was like, she don't know what she's talking about. We're not gonna listen to her. She don't know what she's talking about. Yet here, when the Spirit lifted Ezekiel up and all of a sudden he heard this noise, the noise wasn't going on until he was told to go. And when he was told to go, the very noise, what he was describing, that very noise, he began to hear it as he moved, as he was made to move. And who was moving him was the Spirit. He said, then the Spirit lifted me up. And if you remember that living being with the four faces, that it moved when it moved when the Spirit moved. It was led by the Spirit. Catch this now. I'm just saying. I'm just going to keep going. Those who need to catch it will. It says, the Spirit lifted me up and took me away. I went in bitterness and turmoil, but the Lord's hand was on me strong. Now listen, I'm about to say this to y'all. I don't know if any of you have ever been called by the Lord to do something that you didn't want to do. I'm going to say it again. I don't know if any of you have ever been called by the Lord to do something that you didn't want to do. And no matter how you ran, you couldn't get away from it. I'm going to tell y'all, those of y'all who have Jonah Gym shoes, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who do have it, them Jonah Gym shoes ain't no joke. That's when I joke about it. And it ain't no joke, but I have joked about it because I've had a few pair. And a couple of years ago, I guess it was last year, the year before last. I think it was the year before last. But anyway, or maybe it was last year. But anyway, I would always try to get rid of my Jonah Gym shoes, and then God would give me an assignment to go do something, and I'd be like, shoot, baby. And I'd go find them Jonah Gym shoes in the trash. Now it's not physical gym shoes. That's the thing. It's not physical gym shoes, but it's that Spirit of God telling you to do something, and you be like I'm all for what you, but I don't want to do that. That's a spirit. And so when I joke about Jonah gym shoes, but I'm talking about this spirit, it's like really pretty much the same thing that we're reading anyway. Same thing we're reading here. But anyway, and Jonah was one of them. Jonah, and I call him Jonah gym shoes because Jonah was one that God had told him to go preach to the Ninevites and warn them because God was going to kill them. And Jonah was like, nah, I'm going to go the other way. And he went the other way, and he went far the other way. I don't know if any of y'all seen them videos that I did on that where I showed the actual map to show you where he was supposed to go and where he went. Like Jonah was supposed to go here, and Jonah went way over there somewhere, and like trying to run. I mean, he was going the opposite. He was so far going the opposite way. He got on this boat to take him even further away from where he was supposed to go. And God caused a storm to come there. Remember, there was a storm. The first thing that Ezekiel, and we don't want to let this get past. The first thing was that there was a storm coming, a great storm. And driving before the storm was a cloud, a huge cloud that has something in the center of it. And what was out from the center came this vision that Ezekiel had of this living being with these four faces. But yet when you get down here and you hear of because above he started describing this living being with the four faces, and there was a platform, a clear platform above their heads, and above that platform there was a voice that came, and he heard this voice. And so when he heard and so when he looked up at what was above the platform, he saw a throne, and above the throne, high above the throne, was what looked like a man. So he was looking at Jesus in his kingly stature. He was looking at, and so he heard this voice, and the voice told him to the voice was commanding him, was giving him some commandments, some things that he had to do. He was ordaining him. He was calling him and instructing him that he was supposed to read what was being given, read this scroll that was being given to him, and he was to read it, and he was to read it for himself first. He was to take to heart everything that he was reading, and then he was to go and speak it to this people. But he was being told that you about to go and speak to this people, but trust and believe they're not going to listen to you. Don't get in your feelings, because you got to speak anyway. They're not going to listen to you, but you still got to go, and you still got to speak. Why? Because God is a just God. He's a just God. And when he does what he does, when he whoops, when he disciplines, when he chastises, when he corrects, when he judges, it's going to be just, because ain't nobody going to be able to say they didn't know. Ain't nobody going to be able to say that they didn't hear. So he said, whether they listen to you or not, you got to go. So it says, the Spirit lifted me and took me away. I went in bitterness and turmoil. Like, I didn't want to go. No, I don't want to do this. It says, but the Lord's hold on me was strong. I promise y'all, that's how I be feeling. His hold on me is so strong. It got to the point where I stopped fighting, but I used to fight. I used to struggle. Oh my gosh, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't do nothing until you do what the Lord says do. And so now it's gotten to the point that I do it quick now. And like even now, I came in the house, and my intent coming in the house was to come in and begin cooking. And here I am with a bunch of scribblings on a piece of, it's not even paper, it's paper towel. Come on now. It says, then I came to the colony of Judean exiles. There was some people in prison, and they were Judean. The significance about these children of Judah that was in prison was the fact that Judah held the mantle of government and the mantle of priesthood. So there was a bondage that was on them. They were in prison. They were in prison for a reason, and Isaiah is the one who tells you about that reason. But let me keep going. It says, then I came to the colony of Judean exiles in Tel Aviv, beside the Kibar River. I sat there among them for 7 days, overwhelmed. Baby. Overwhelmed. So it says, I'm gonna keep going because I tend to get distracted. When I tell y'all all this stuff be making sense to me, and I'm like, oh dang, like I get it. A watchman for Israel. Now, Israel is all the nations, all the nations. The Judeans, Israel is not Judean, but the Judeans are Israel. What I mean by that is Israel represents all 12 tribes. There were 12 brothers. Judah was one of the brothers. The Judeans come from Judah. They're his kids. But there was Reuben. There was let's see, all the brothers, 12 brothers. Count it with me now. There was Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. They were the first four. And then there was not Daniel. There was Joseph and Benjamin. That's 6 now. Then there was Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Zebulun, and Issachar. I'm going to do that again. Dan, Asher, Gad, Naphtali, Zebulun, and Issachar. I remembered all of that because, again, I had just spoke on this. For the videos that I did about Isaiah and beginning to study that. So here, the Israelites represents all 12 tribes and all the children of all 12 tribes, whereas the Judeans are the children of Judah. And the Judeans, or Judah, is the one that held the double mantle, the mantle of kingship as well as the mantle of priest. Okay, so it says, at the end of the 7 days, the Lord gave me a message. He said, Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, pass it on to the people immediately. Dag, I feel like I just got whooped. I'm trying to think, what is it that God has spoken to me that I have not yet passed on? Man. Okay, he said immediately. Whenever you receive a message from me, I got to get that book finished. Pass it on to the people immediately. If I warn the wicked, saying you are under the penalty of death, but you fail to deliver the warning, they will die for their sins or in their sins, and I will hold you responsible, demanding your blood for theirs, If you warn them and they keep on sinning and refuse to repent, they will die in their sins, but you will have saved your life because you did what you were told to do. Now, for all y'all that feel some type of way when people be sending out these warning messages, now you know why they doing it, include myself. Now you know why we do it. When we get these warning messages and we be on Facebook looking crazy and carrying on and trying to get this stuff out, that's because it's a law of accountability. Now, if you don't understand the law of accountability, let me tell you from how it is in the courthouse. You are accountable for those who are around you, those who are in your circle. So say you go to a store or you're driving one of your friends to the store and your friend gets out the car to go in the store, but you stay in the car. Your friend gets out the car, go into the store and does some stuff in that store that you are not aware of. Say they went in the store and they stole a bunch of stuff. You're not aware of that. So they come outside of the store. Now the entire time they think they're getting away with it and they don't realize they being watched. And the people just sitting back in the cut, just watching them, not moving, not saying nothing, just watching them. So your friend goes in the store and does whatever they do and steals some stuff. Now you're not aware of it because you sitting here in the car, and they come out the store and come back to you, bam, 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 get in your car, bam, bam, bam. And then while they in your car, they start pulling out some stuff out their shirt or however. And you be like, what? And they be like, drive. And you pull off and drive. Then the cops come around this way, bam, 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 and stop you. And you like, what's wrong? And they like, get out the car. And they like, get out the car. And you like, what I do? I didn't do anything. And they arrest the friend. They pull the friend. They make the friend get out the car. And they make you get out the car too. And they start pulling all this stuff off the friend. The friend going to jail because the friend got this stuff on them that was stolen. You going to jail because you pulled out that parking lot, bam, 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 and drove and was getting ready to drive off, knowing that this friend did something that they wasn't supposed to do. That's accountability. That's accountability. So God is saying, if I warn the wicked, saying, you are under the penalty of death, but you fail to deliver the warning, they will die in their sins, and I will hold you responsible, demanding your blood for theirs. If you warn them and they keep on sinning and refuse to repent, they will die in their sins, but you will have saved your life because you did what you were told to do. If good people turn bad and don't listen to my warning, they will die. If you did not warn them of the consequences, then they will die in their sins. Their previous good deeds won't help them, and I will hold you responsible, demanding your blood for theirs. But if you warn them and they repent, they will live, and you will have saved your own life too. Then the Lord took hold of me and he said to me, go out into the valley and I will talk to you there. So I got up and went, and there I saw the glory of the Lord, just as I had seen it in my first vision by the Kabar River, and I fell face down in the dust. And the Spirit came into me and set me on my feet. He talked to me and said, go, shut yourself up in your house. That, y'all, is a quarantine. He says, shut yourself up in your house. There you will be bound with ropes so you cannot go out among the people. And I will make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth so you won't be able to pray for them, for they are rebellious. But whenever I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue and let you speak. Then you will say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Some of them will listen, but some will ignore you, for they are rebels. So that wheel in the middle of the wheel, y'all, that wheel in the middle of the wheel, that wheel in the middle of the wheel, from that middle, it was from what was in the middle that came out, and Ezekiel saw these here living beings with wheels underneath them. Now, mind you, they came out from that center that was in the middle. And those wheels underneath them was full of eyes. I think I did it on. Full of eyes all around the rims. And the spirit that moved these four beings, or the living creatures, was in that wheel. Above all of that, that came out of here, that platform that came out of here, there was what they saw. He ended up seeing his throne and all that, and yeah, we read all that. But let me tell you a little bit more about this in the center. This out here, this outer ring, you guys, guess what that outer ring represents? It represents the law. And in here is Jesus. And we, with our imperfect selves, is right here. This is us in this center part. When we refuse Jesus, when we refuse to come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus right now, right now, right now. Come to Jesus right now. When we rebel and we refuse to come to Jesus, our rebellion sends us that way. We supposed to be going this way, but rebellion sends us that way. And so when we rebel, we come up against the law. I hope y'all understanding this wheel in the middle of a wheel. When we rebel, and I'm just showing y'all how the Holy Spirit showed me a long time ago, while I sat alongside the Judean exiles. We supposed to give our lives to Christ. We supposed to be coming to Jesus. He's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. I know he'll never let us down. But when we go and rebel against him, we're going in the opposite direction, and who we come up against is the law. And so we end up having issues with the law because we are rebelling against Jesus. So we're going in the opposite direction. We have issues with the law, and we experience jail. We experience police. We experience all type. And mind you, if you read in Romans, let's flip over because I want to show you something. I want to show you something about this glorified babysitter. It's a playpen. It's a playpen, y'all. It's a playpen. It's a playpen. That's what I call it. I told my husband that before that y'all don't talk about my Bible. Don't laugh at my Bible, y'all. It's one of my favorites. That's why it's like this. So this is Romans chapter. I want you to see this wheel again. I want you to see this. This is now Romans chapter 13. It says, obey the government, for God is the one who put it there. God is the one who put it there. God is the one. Now, I want to show y'all something again. He said God is the one that put it there, right? Let me show you this. And let me show you this. In the book of Genesis, chapter 3. Y'all, I'm running out of paper towel and I'm not going to tear no more off. But in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, perfect man fell. They fell from grace. Sorry, it's not funny, but they did. They fell from grace. And God had to cover them. Bam. He had to cover them to protect them. I'm just showing you that. Obey the government, for God is the one who put it there. All governments have been placed in power by God. So those who refuse to obey the laws of the land are refusing to obey God, and punishment will follow. Who is the punishment going to hit? Those who refuse to obey. See, we live in this area. This is the area we live in. And so there are laws in this area. And we're going to put flesh right here. We're going to put flesh right there. I hope y'all are able to see all this. We're going to put flesh. This area is flesh. This middle area is flesh. We live in this area right here. We're born, we live in this area right here. When we refuse to obey the law, see, the law will keep us in this area. And as we grow and as we become to learn more about God and really give our lives to God, we journey towards that center, that core, that. But when we refuse to obey the laws, it means we're going that way. We don't want to obey the law. If this is the law here and we're here, but we don't want to obey the law, which means we don't want to live in this middle part. So we're trying to get out. We're going to have issues. We're going to have legal issues. It says, for the authorities do not frighten people who are doing right. People who are living in this middle part here, the authority is out here. This ring around here is the authority. So those who are living in here doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're not having a problem. It's the people who are butting up against this wall, knocking their head against the wall. Y'all heard that expression. Why you want to bump your head against the wall? Why you keep being so hard-headed? Why you keep not paying attention? Why you keep not listening? Why you keep knocking your head against the wall? That's the wall right there. It says, 13, Romans chapter 13. So those who refuse to obey the laws of the land are refusing to obey God, and punishment will follow. For the authorities do not frighten people who are doing right, but they frighten those who do wrong. So do what they say and you will get along well. The authorities are sent by God to help you. But if you're doing something wrong, of course, you should be afraid, for you will be punished. The authorities are established by God for that very purpose, to punish those who do wrong. So you must obey the government for two reasons: to keep from being punished and to keep a clear conscience. And then it's going with some other stuff. Living in this circle, in this middle part, when you begin to learn about Jesus and you begin to draw close. That also look like an abotomy, y'all. But begin to draw close to Jesus. Once you get in this circle, once you draw close to Jesus, this law can't touch you once you live in here. You're born again once you're living here in this center, in this with a Christ-filled life. The law can't touch you, but that you're not living a Christ-filled life for real, then the law can touch you. And there's more scripture on that, but I'm about to end this right here because, yeah, it's getting late. If you got any questions, I'm not really done. For real, I'm not done. But I need some more paper, and I hope y'all was able to understand that wheel in the middle of the wheel. All right, bye.